Chapter 4, Section 2, The First Amendment, Religion and Speech. First Amendment Jurisprudence. The protections for individual liberty granted by the Bill of Rights are not absolute. Rights can sometimes come into conflict, so judicial interpretation is essential for establishing the scope and limits of particular freedoms. For example, in First Amendment jurisprudence, the freedom of speech does not protect deliberate falsehoods, direct incitements to violence, or attempts to cause panic, commonly referred to as shouting fire in a crowded theater. Indeed, a number of significant Supreme Court holdings have established limits on each of the protections in the First Amendment, including freedom of religion, speech, press, and assembly. Religion. There are only two clauses in the First Amendment concerning religion: the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause. The difference between these is similar to the distinction between civil rights and civil liberties. One prevents the government from doing something, and the other guarantees citizens a choice to do or not do something. In short, the Establishment Clause prohibits the government from favoring any one religion and from favoring religion over non-religion. The Free Exercise Clause protects citizens' rights to religious belief, though the court has drawn distinctions between the protections for belief, which are absolute, and the protections for action on that belief, which are not. Often in cases about religion, both of these clauses are applicable. Cases about religion generally employ balancing tests of some kind, weighing the importance of protecting minority religious belief and practice against majoritarian religious expression and social order. As above, the general rule of thumb is that freedom of religious belief is heavily favored, while religious exercise is not as heavily favored. The Establishment Clause reads thus: Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. The foundational modern case relating to the Establishment Clause is Engel v. Vitale, 1962, in which the court held that school-sponsored prayer was not permissible under the First Amendment. Any prayer composed and promoted by school officials violated the Establishment Clause. A prayer need not be coercive to be in violation of the Establishment Clause, and any prayer, no matter how vague, privileges religion over non-religion. Subsequent cases have held other religious exercises unconstitutional, such as student-led prayer at a football game and clergy-led prayer at a graduation ceremony. Another important Establishment Clause is Lemon v. Kurtzman, 1971, in which the court found unconstitutional a Pennsylvania statute that allowed reimbursement of private schools with public funds, the majority of which went to Catholic schools. From this case came the Lemon Test, a three-pronged test for courts to use in judging establishment questions. In Establishment Clause cases after Lemon, the court has had to balance the public interest against the prohibition on establishment of religion. Decisions have gone both ways. The court has upheld the use of vouchers for private schools, but has consistently struck down displaying the Ten Commandments on monuments outside and inside government buildings. The Free Exercise Clause forbids Congress from making any law that prohibits the practice of religion. The foundational modern case relating to this clause is Sherbert V. Verner, 1963, in which the court held that South Carolina acted unconstitutionally when it denied unemployment benefits to a woman whose religious beliefs prevented her from working on Saturdays. This case produced the Sherbert Test, a three-pronged test for courts to use in judging free exercise questions, which requires a similar balancing of interest as in Establishment Clause cases. Protections in the Free Exercise Clause were extended to students and their parents in Wisconsin v. Yoder, 1972, which held that Amish parents were exempt from compulsory education statutes because of their religious belief and practice. The court found that Wisconsin did not have a compelling interest in requiring students to continue beyond the 8th grade, given the deference to religious belief suggested by the First Amendment and the unique nature of Amish society. Sherbert and Yoder are the only two major cases in which the court has relied on free exercise claims to overturn a law. The court is generally deferential to the government in this area.